Hello and welcome to episode 26 of BraddersGraps, where this episode sees us heading up the River Mersey from Stockport to Liverpool for a dynamite coverage of TNT's doubleheader, which was TNT Ignition Rumble and TNT's Merseyside Massacre. I am not flying solo today, for once. I am joined, happily, by the unofficial co-host of the podcast in Mr. Myles Smith. Good evening,
What's
Myles.
happening?
It's been a long week, battling a cold, trying to do as many different kind of shows. So, but we're getting through them slowly but surely. Just this and one more to do, and we are back to normal. As I said, we are going to be looking at a show that took place a couple of weeks ago now. That being at the Hangar 34 in Liverpool, for starting off with a TNT Ignition Rumble, the family-friendly show, shall we call it, out of the two. So we will crack on because we have a lot to talk about, as well as giving a little plug to Infinite at the end of the show. So let's get cracking with Ignition. The opening contest saw for the TNT Ignition title, Critchy defending against Luke Jacobs, but Critchy was joined down at ringside by Mr. Mickey Barnes. I know you was looking forward to this match beforehand. What was your take on the opening match?
It delivered what I expected, to be fair. I was looking forward to this match before the show. I was surprised it was the opening match, to be fair, but did its job. Great match between two of the best at the minute. Critchy coming into his own as a singles wrestler now, going up against, you'd say, one of the best singles wrestlers in the world in Luke Jacobs. Mickey Barnes on the outside. Not distracting Jacobs, but like slightly off-putting Jacobs.
He was there more as an enforcer, if anything.
Yeah,
for this match.
Cheese bodyguard.
I have to say I didn't see a whole lot of this match, mainly because I was chatting to a couple of people that I hadn't seen for a while. So I only caught the back end of the contest. So what I saw of this match was Jacobs hitting kind of move upon move, hitting like a lariat, a power bomb, practically throwing everything he had at Critchy. And then I think Critchy did a backslide to... Was it a backslide to get the win?
Yeah, he stole the pinfall, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a cheeky roll-up, like backslide roll-up. Jacobs couldn't get off his back.
Because there was a few of us kind of like up in the VIP bit that was watching this. And there was a couple of us kind of just, even a few friends that were down below. And we kind of all looked at each other and just thought, we didn't agree with kind of like the ending. Just because Jacobs had hit all these big power moves. And then it didn't feel like the strongest win. I mean, if it had been a like a very, very quick roll up and there was like pants being held, I'd have been okay. But I kind of felt the ending of this just let it down a tiny bit myself. But it's nothing against Pritchard Jacobs. And I just think it slightly missed at the end personally. But I know I've heard kind of like a lot of people say it was a really good match. So, and as I kind of missed most of it, I'll probably take their side of it over what I saw. But there we go. You can't please everyone, and at times I am a very difficult person to please, and I say that with a straight face and wearing a Shaq onesie.
Yeah.
Match number 2, Holly Barlow versus Sky Smithson, with Lana Austin in Holly's corner. Or, to give it the other match name, Sexy Sky versus Sexy Holly.
I've completely forgot about that. Yeah, that was a thing that was happening.
Yeah, well, it was one of those that Smithson is always gets a chance, Sexy Sky, and it felt very much kind of like tongue in cheek. Everyone kind of singing Sexy Holly, which I think pretty much most people took as just going along with it. I don't think there was many people thought it was anything kind of dodgy or over the top. I know Holly has posted and kind of like laughed about it. But I can understand why some may have not particularly liked that version of things. But it's chants are there, as they say. This was actually one of my favorite matches on the first show because there was a lot going on. Sky, who is really fun to watch. Holly is just, it has been said many places now, has Scrappy-Doo energy. And the more I've kind of like heard that and even said it myself, it does very much come across it does tie in very well with Holly though. She does give off very much kind of like Scrappy-Doo vibes of, she doesn't know at times how kind of like small she is, but she has like the biggest heart. But Holly is the rule breaker out of the two. Though I'll ask you this: would you class her as a full-on rule breaker or more of an in-betweener?
No, it's straight up cheat. From what I've seen in that match, it was straight up cheating.
Because as it was going on, I'm thinking, she's not really being full-on kind of like rule breaking. It was very much like Lana was doing a lot of it. But at the same time, Holly was getting more offense in on Sky. Sky just struggled to get much offense in for most of the match. And then at one point, Holly went to the outside, claiming she'd injured her knee, which allowed Lana Austin to get in the ring, headbutt Sky Smithson, then had to dash around the ring to tell Holly to get back in the ring because she had the advantage back. Then it kind of went back and forth. Ended up with Holly hitting a Barlow stunner, if memory serves, picking up the victory, and only Holly could get away with doing the old, like, Rick Rude hip swaying moves because of the chance that she had. If it was anyone else, it probably would not be. I'm trying to think of the best term to use now. She was laughing a lot with it, and I think played off on it very, very well.
Yeah.
Which I think with Lana and Holly, they are, even all three in this match, all three can play off things extremely well. So there was that. There was, I'd say, about a good 70-30 for Sky, I'd say. There was a fair few cheering for Holly. One being me, because, obviously being from her neck of the woods. And I'm trying to think who else was cheering up in the box. It'll come to me later on. How did you find this contest? Because I don't think I've asked you yet.
It was an interesting match. Getting to see Holly being coming into the role of heel Holly now in TNT, whereas like previous matches, like she's not been fully into the role, but now that she's getting more involved in the matches and getting to show off her heel side is quite interesting to see. Sky being Sky, just you cannot hate Sky Smithson.
No.
Absolute badass in the ring.
Superb. The one thing I'll say about Holly as the kind of like rule breaker, I'd seen her for the first time playing that role at North. That was it last year. Because I think she took on Natalie Sykes. And whether it was just one of the few times Holly had kind of like playing that role, it still felt like she wanted to be like the fans' favorite, but trying to be a bit heelish. But it was one of those things no one wanted to boo her just because it's Holly. But I think TNT, she slowly kind of like drip feeding, if you like, kind of turning that way. And I think that has been much better than just telling her you're full on kind of like heelish here. But I have enjoyed kind of like the rule breaking work she has done. Still kind of find it difficult to boo Holly, but again, when you have a Mancunian going to Liverpool, I will try and cheer for him within reason. Match number 3 was the one-arm. Sorry, I'll say that again. Bullet taking on Joe Rage. What was your take on this?
So this was the first time like actually getting to see Joe Rage in the ring. I've seen him at the last show attack Bullet. He'd come across as a dangerous threat to Bullet. Bullet had to get the crowd on his side. That chant, the Bullet chant, was fantastic. That is like one of the loudest chants I have ever heard at a wrestling show, and that's not even a joke. It lasted for a solid like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I was recording that, and I do have to admit I did get the words wrong when you hear me chanting along. Because the ones I kind of like stand with up at the top are all kind of like massive Bullet fans. So we're all collectively Bullet fans now. I've been added to the group, and to have like the Bullet Club group as it is. I'll be honest, I don't think I have sung so much for such a long time since I think when I last went to a football game. It just seemed to go on and on and on and never seemed to stop. It felt like it went on almost the entire match.
Yeah, it carried on in and out of the match like constantly, which I felt like it added towards the match. It made the match better.
Because I remember going to Rev Pro a few years ago when it was, I think it was Alex Windsor, Hyan, and Mickey James. And Mickey James came out to Hardcore Country, and a group of fans literally just kept chanting Hardcore Country throughout the entire match, kind of crapping on it. I mean, sometimes you can chant all the way through and it comes across like being a bit dickish. This came across more kind of, as you say, I think it helped because what we had seen from Joe Rage on the previous show, because he was an unknown entity coming into this. No one fully knew who he was. And the way he attacked Bullet, it's one of the few times I've ever seen Bullet in that position where he's faced someone or someone has beat him up and he's looked in like serious peril. The match itself, though, almost felt like Bullet fed off the crowd and the chants. Because you could see he was genuinely kind of like smirking at certain times during the chants, thinking they're going to keep this chant going, aren't they? And he kind of worked through it, and it really did work well. The match itself, I could be completely wrong here, but it felt very much like Bullet got the majority, if not most, of the offense in. But when Rage did get some in, it was still meaningful. So it wasn't a squash match, but it kind of loosely felt that way. But I think they did well to kind of avoid going that way. But again, as we will see later down the line, this feud is not over. Not by a long shot. So we then came. I'm trying to think. Was that the interval, wasn't it?
That was the interval, yeah.
The interval, and then we came back with Denzel Mack against Ian Skinner. Denzel Mack, who has really impressed in the times he's been up in TNT, because he faced Tommy Tanner in his debut match.
Yeah, he faced Tommy in his debut.
And then he was in that, I think it was the 4-way match
with Mickey Barnes and Liam Carr.
Yeah.
And Ian.
So this is almost like a bit of a carry-on from that match, if you like. So I'd seen Mac a couple of weeks ago at Tidal, taking on Jet Marshall, which was a really fun little contest. Ian, God bless Ian. Everyone loves Skinner. Okay, I'll rephrase that. Oh, a fair few like Skinner. There are some people that don't, but it's normal. Just, I know Nikki, if she's listening to this, will be the leader, if you like, of the Ian Skinner party. What was your take on this before I get into what I thought?
I really enjoyed this match. I think Denzel and Ian are like very similar in styles, but like slightly different. Like they have a very similar moveset, and like I feel like in the ring, like they're pretty much like same height. Like, so it's like it's a good match between both guys.
Yeah,
because like it's just like for like. It pretty much you're watching the carbon copy of Ian Skinner.
because it was Denzel is more kind of like built out of the two, and is more kind of like power moves and has a bit of a high flying kind of move set. Skinner is very kind of like technical and striking. Oh, loves like strikes and uses that to his advantage. But also playing the, I say playing, being the phrase I like is what Mick Foley once said about him and Candido, where you don't have many people that are willing to kind of play the coward in certain times. So whereas they are dangerous, they are not afraid to kind of cower and be like foolish in how they go about things. And I think that is one of the redeeming features of like a Skinner match. Is that he's very much like a mosquito in the sense that he will continue to kind of like just peck your head and get into your head a bit, and then he'll just like hit you with certain moves and just loads of strikes, and is equally dangerous in a different way to Mac. It does have to be said, Skinner got a cut during this match. I don't know how on earth that came about.
Yeah, me neither. I genuinely thought he was hurt.
Yeah, because I have asked a couple of people. He says people of like how, or if anyone saw how the cut happened. Mystery is one term I got. So whether that was intentional to the match, I don't know. But I personally, I don't think it was. I think it could have been like a graze, but it's turned into a bit more. But it was a brave performance by a bleeding Skinner. Dental Mac wins anyhow with, I'm trying to remember what I want to say it was a senton bomb, but I don't think a swanton bomb, sorry, but I don't know if it was. Or if it was a splash. What am I talking about?
Yeah.
It was a splash off the top rope. So I one thing about this match was having a friend that had been drinking a bit and was not a fan of Mr. Skinner, which some of the stuff he came out with, they weren't libelous, but when I was recording a few things, I did have to make some edits, shall we say.
Oh dear.
God bless you, Dave. But yeah, Denzel Mac takes the victory, and that all leads up to the TNT Ignition Rumble. This was a whole lot of fun, as Rumbles do tend to be. So I will try and cut certain things to where I think we should. So the first four in this contest was, well, before we found out who was number one, Nikki and me were texting back and forth because she was watching the stream. We were actually both concerned about Skinner at this point because of what we'd seen. And we said, oh, I hope he's okay. And then literally 2 seconds later, we get Skinner's music. And my reply straight back to Nikki was, I think he's okay. So Skinner comes out with his head freshly bandaged, with Oscar and Big John, the physio, comes to the ring, puts a promo which no one up at the top heard because of all the booing and whatever was being said. But yes, Myles.
Looking like Terry Butcher.
Not enough blood.
Close enough. Nearly there.
It was very early, Terry Butcher. I'm trying to think of another person with a bandage around there. It looked more like a rugby player.
Yeah, a rugby player, yeah.
And I'd say Terry Butcher. If it went full on like red face and kind of Great Muta scale, then I'd probably put him under the Terry Butcher. Blood. Where am I? Oh, yes. So Skinner was number one. Effectively, I think I've seen the video now, and he says, I'm going to throw 19 other people over the top rope. And it gets joined to that number 2, MVK. Good luck, Ian. Trying to chop MVK, and he kind of just stood there and just went, what are you doing? And as I say, God loves a trier. Must have chopped him at least another 3-4 times. Nothing. MVK then just hits his moves on him. That then brings out number 3 in Bullet. To which I think we had a stare down with Bullet and MVK. Skinner comes up to Bullet, and Bullet practically just pushes him away, which is quite comedic in how it all went down. Then we had number 4 in Liam McCarthy, and this was effectively 3 big bulls in the ring, to be perfectly honest. I think Skinner at this point may have snuck out of the ring momentarily because he did get back in, tried to push McCarthy into MVK and Bullet, and probably pushed it as far as I could push my dad's car with a handbrake off. Did not get very far at all. Ended up ducking a clothesline and then getting his head nearly clean took off. Then we kind of got into the Rumble more. So I will say, if you want to jump in, just let us know, Myles, because I'll try and get to a fair few of these. So we had Will Davis, Cannonball at 5, Mickey Barnes at 6, who I think we had his wife and kid up in the VIP with us. And when Mickey came out, the entire group of ours all cheered for Mickey for the rest of the Rumble that he was in, which was nice. And it was nice to see like his family like really gushing at Mickey coming out as well and cheering. Was kind of one of the feel-good, wholesome moments of this match. Number 7, unsurprisingly, and I would love to know how many times it happens, Trent Seven comes out to Seven Nation Army. A few people using the non-PG version of his chant, and the amount of people shouting PG, PG, and very quickly using the family version. We then had Lewis Johnson come out at number 8, in which we had Joe Rage coming back out and eliminating Bullet, and then saw them two pretty much just teeing off on the outside. So, as I say, that feud looks like it is going to continue. Number 9 was Callum Crowe, who I have been impressed with every time I've kind of seen him on TNT or the pre-shows. Number 10 was Lucian. 11 was Vusic. 12 was Ted Sabin, who I want to say I have seen him elsewhere, but I am
he
not.
debuted in TNT in the Bradford show.
I could seriously be confusing him with someone else that's called Sabin, and I don't mean like WWE TNA Sabin. We then had 13 in Decker, which we had a few people shouting Team Claw, because I believe, I could be wrong, Crow, Lucian, Sabin, and Decker are part of Claw, or train there.
Yeah, they train there. Sabin's from London.
That is adding more evidence to I have seen him. I think I'm positive I saw him at Hustle a couple years ago.
If you've seen him, or like Ignite, one of them shows in like
I am
London.
pretty sure I saw him in a 6-man tag. But Cage Match does not tell me that, so we will move on. So we then had kind of Team Claw almost just arms aloft with each other, celebrating that they knocked everyone down. Number 14 was Tom McCall, who I made the point yesterday on the Future Shock show. The more I see McCall wrestle in a singles role, the more impressive he gets. Because I laugh it because I think you've seen McCall more doing singles action than I have, I think.
Yeah, I've seen him quite a few times in singles matches.
How would you...
I even got to see him against Critchy, so I got to compare them both as singles.
What's your take on him as a singles?
He's getting better. At first, he was like, you'd think you can just look at him and say, oh yeah, tag guy. But he's getting better and better with every match he's putting on as a singles.
Because I made this point yesterday that a lot of people just see Tom as a tag wrestler, which I think's a bit unfair because you also have Critchy, who is his tag team partner and has obviously is the Ignition champion and has done a few kind of singles matches himself over time. McCall, for me, the more I see him in like singles matches, the more he impresses. His run a couple of weeks ago at Lotto Thunder. Honestly, if you haven't, you can't because it's not out yet. But when they put out Lotto Thunder, his matches he has with Josh Easy and Pele honestly are two really good matches to watch. Especially his match against Pele. Both are very different. Tom was more kind of the experienced hand in the first match. Against Pele, the way they kind of like put that match together and everything, it was seamless and easily one of the more enjoyable matches I've seen for I'd say quite a while. It really is worth your time watching them, because the clip they have posted of him and Pele with being thrown out the door and then running back in the ring and getting hit is, I'll say it again, as I said the other day, it is one of the best sequences to an end of a match I have seen anywhere. How seamless it all went. It was chef's kiss. However, back to the Rumble, and McCall, who has one of the, again, I said it yesterday, has one of the best lariats and one of the more believable lariats in wrestling, I think, because he gets so much bloody power in it when he hits them that you seriously think he could decapitate someone. Then we move to number 15, Denzel Mack. 16, Tommy Tanner, who very quickly became the favourite up in the box of who was going to win, because we had a bit of a sweepstake. Some people kind of didn't have a horse in the race, so to speak, so everyone shifted to Tanner. 17 was the new Sheiky baby in Sheikh El Sham. 18 was Jimmy Jackson. 19 was Pele, who I actually thought was going to win this, believe it or not. And the last, but by no means least, number 20, and who I had in the sweepstake, Najay. And I was told numerous times by people, don't celebrate having number 20 because number 20s never win. And that pretty much turned out to be the actual truth. I'm trying to think of the back end of who we had.
I know 3 was Vucic.
I remember the final 3, yeah.
Vucic, Trent, and Tommy Tanner.
However, before we kind of got down to the nitty-gritty, we had a couple things that were really good. Trent Seven deciding to just snap the fingers of every single person that was either in the ring or doing photography at ringside, and also did Mad Dog Angus, having threatened to do it to Angus, and him just going, no, and then did it anyway. Ian Skinner, who was it's hard to describe Ian, because he was sat on the outside for the majority of his time in the Rumble. Brave effort, has to be said. I mean, he did bugger all, in fairness. He sat on a chair for most of it.
Other than getting his ass beat by Trent Seven.
And there was that as well. And having more stuff, getting more attention to his cut. Which I didn't actually notice till I watched like some of the footage back I got. Brent, yes, went to, I think he did hit Skinner in the head with a chair.
Yeah, he ran at him with a steel chair. That had me in bits. I was just like sat perfectly, just seeing Trent just run past me with the steel chair and just launch it at Ian.
Because I'm looking at him thinking, oh, they're not going to touch Skinner because he's just do anything to him. And blow me, they did. They ended up hitting Skinner in the head with a chair. And then I think Trent Seven spent a lot of time being very creative in trying to go under the radar. Where I think he sat in the crowd at one point sipping a bit of a beer.
Yeah.
Then he went to another part of the crowd. Then he ended up grabbing the ring apron and wrapping himself up like a mummy.
Having a little sleep.
Yeah. And just kind of like moving the ring apron to see no one was going to grab him. I mean, you couldn't miss him. There was a body wrapped in the ring apron. It wasn't one of those kind of like hard to miss things, but God bless Trent. I love him. There we had, I think Seven had been, no, he hadn't been eliminated. He was on the outside. I think Skinner may have got the foot up the second time to block a chair, which rebounded into him, and then collapsed into the arms of Ian Skinner, who was still sat in the chair. And he just seemed to hug for a couple of minutes, which was
weird
but funny. I had too much fun watching Skinner and Trent. It has to be said. But then we got to the final three, which was Vusic, Tanner, and Trent. Vusic, I will say, then I think shortly after eliminated Skinner, then we kind of got down to the final three. Vusic got eliminated by Tanner, I want to say.
Yeah.
I think it could have been Seven.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Tanner.
But we ended up with Seven and Tanner almost in a Royal Rumble 2001 Rock and Austin situation where they were both in opposite corners and rose at the same time before both kind of getting stuff in. Tanner thinks he's won after he throws Trent over top rope on the stage, but the officials were quick to rule it out and say no, has to be the floor. So we then have them fighting up on the stage and the little walkway. Tanner nearly falls out, I think, at one point.
Yeah.
Holt gets pulled back in. Both of them kind of like throw a few more punches. I think they did say to one side, move away.
Trent was going, he was trying to attempt the Birmingham on him.
Because I think they were going to try and do that, but I think the reason they didn't, I think there was someone in a chair that was on the far side and they couldn't move out because of the seats. I think that was one of the reasons, or someone that couldn't walk. So they had to kind of slightly abandon that idea. Then they moved to the other side where everyone just moved effectively. Ended up with Tanner taking a bit of an awkward fall from the stage onto the floor, being eliminated, and having Trent Seven as your Rumble winner. Having Critchy then come out and doing a face-to-face, everything seemingly being kind of very much professional between the two. Then we had a quick little pull apart between the two. Seven remaining in the ring, holding up the title. A possible show of what we could see, an omen, if you like. But yeah, that is how things finished for the Ignition Rumble. What was your take overall on the show?
Good show from start to finish. Crowd was big crowd.
Yes.
The crowd was like, that venue was full for that show.
It was loud. It was packed. That was a really good crowd. Then came the interval. I think you stayed outside.
Yeah, I stayed out for a little bit.
You stayed outside. A group of us went to Box Park to get some food. And there was a 45-minute wait for drinks. If you wanted them being delivered to your table. We were clever. We went to the shop over the road and just got drinks from there and sat outside in the absolute, well, try and keep it PG. It was pouring down, to be quite honest. Ended up going to a certain supermarket chain, went to get a steak slice, only to find out that the 2 steak slices they had in the hot food area were, maturing enough that they were both 14 days out of date. Nice is one way to put it. So safe to say, I did not eat there. Grabbed myself a box of salt and pepper chips, which I will probably do again at the next TNT show, unless we go somewhere else. Then we returned for TNT Merseyside Massacre. On paper, this looked a really fun show.
Yep.
So we'll see how that transpired. That's the word.
I went with another keyword. I went with transfers.
I mean, would it transfer over? Yes, we'll go for that. So, for those lucky enough that had VIP, we had Ty Archer taking on Lucian. This was an okay little contest. I don't think it went very long. From memory.
Yeah, about 6 minutes, I'd say.
Ty Archer picks up the victory, much kind of like he did in the last pre-show against Callum Crowe.
Yeah, against Lucian's tag partner.
So it feels almost like he's just taking down Claw members at this point. We started off, if the notes are right here, with the TNT Ultra X title, where Shea Monet defended his title against Judas Gray, Scotty Rourke, and Tom Belwell. Myles, what was your take on this?
On paper, it looked like it was going to be a solid match, but don't get me wrong, it was a good match, but some of the moves in that ring were not connecting. The spot where Scotty Rourke just goes for a double foot stomp when Shea Money and Felweller just stood in the ring what are you doing? Why are you going for a foot stomp off the middle rope when nobody's on the floor?
There were a couple of slightly mistimed.
Yeah, and the one where they collide in the ring because it was going for the move off it was.
He went to do a stunner off the rope.
Yeah, he was going for a top rope stunner.
And got one out of the two, but it was one of those where it was a bit messy at times.
It was chaos.
It was chaos, but I enjoyed it.
It was a solid match, but some of the move choices and maybe should have you went with some of the moves in the match because it didn't look coordinated in some spots.
But the flip side,
I think they were just going for moves for the sake of it.
You could say for the flip side, it looked more kind of like a proper fight because not everything did connect and it wasn't fully polished. So, which I don't mind when things like a little mistime happens, because if it was an actual fight, then you'd kind of understand it, and if anything, it has more of a realism to it. So I'm okay with it. You're not going to hit things 100%, so there is that. There was a couple, one very gnarly moment, I have to say, with Scotty, and I think that might have been in front of you, I think.
Oh yeah, when he hit his leg on the barricade.
Yeah, when he went flying over and hit it looked like he hit his shin.
Yeah, he shinned the metal barrier. Yeah, that was right in front of me.
Yeah, it was awful. And I kept thinking to myself, is he going to get through this match?
Yeah, I thought he broke his ankle.
It's the thing of, it reminded me of when Kingston injured his leg like a couple of years ago. And Scotty, it looked like, could not put any weight on his foot for a fair bit. And I kept having my eye on how he was walking and doing, and he didn't look that great for a bit of time. But he must have been fine and shook it off. But again, this is Scotty, and Scotty is mad as badgers. But we got through this match. I mean, everyone in this match I thought did really well. I actually enjoyed. This was one of my favorite matches of the night, if truth be told. Shea Monet wins, pinning, I believe, Scotty Rourke. Though it had Tom Felwell having Judas Gray tapping out at the same time, literally just as the three was coming down. But referee James Greenwood, who was kind of keeping his eye on both, but obviously a pinfall will take priority. So despite Tom getting the tap out from Judas, Monet gets the 1, 2, 3. The announcement was Tom Felwell had won the match due to getting Judas to tap. Greenwood said, no, that's not what happened. Monet wins because he counted the 1, 2, 3. Greenwood takes the title from Tom, gives it to Che, and I wondered now if we may see Monet and Felwell have a little kind of rivalry going after this contest, or maybe it was just a one-off with this match. We will have to find out. Match number 3, Leonardo Darwin against Session Moth Martina. What was your opinion on this?
This match was bonkers. This match was pure chaos. Like, there was so much slapstick comedy going on in this match. Like, just the bit where like Session Moth is like riding Darwin around the ring like a pig, and just absolute like just shenanigans.
It's a thing of, since I've started to go to like TNT shows since September, one of my favorites to watch is Darwin, because he's different from anything you'll practically see anywhere. He loves having the fans boo him. I suppose if you had to think of someone that enjoys getting as much hate, you'd probably say he's kind of like a British MJF in a sense, where he's kind of just, if anything, he feeds off it, but at the same time, it's so goofy and ridiculous. And some of the stuff he comes out with, and you think, how are you saying this stuff? How are you getting away with this? Even some of the actions he was doing and some of the stuff he has posted, you kind of shake your head, but then you think that's Darwin, and you kind of just let it go. Darwin, who is the, you could say, chauvinistic pig, but plays that entire role to a T. He genuinely kind of like goes into everything full on, doesn't worry about what could happen. He really goes deep dives into that role. We're having Session Moth come out and doing kind of like her entrance, which again is the best entrance I think in all of European wrestling. Darwin just there kind of like groin thrusting to Cascada. I mean, just thinking about it makes me laugh because it's so stupid, but it works because it's him. I think of all the matches on this card, this was one of those you kind of looked forward to because you knew it was going to be a good match because they are both great in the ring. But the wackiness that both of these can throw up pretty much played into this contest. As you say, Session Moth riding Darwin round the ring and like pulling his hair. It feels something more like Darwin would have done to Martina if he had the chance. Then we went through all this weird thing towards the back end of things, where I think he pulled out some coins.
Yeah, he pulled out a pot of gold.
He pulled out a pot of gold at the end and had Martina, Darwin, and I think it was Oscar might have been the ref. And they just seemed to take the referee out. The coins were spread all over the ring. Darwin then gets the empty pot and smashes it over the head of Martina. I mean, there's a few things I've left out which I don't know if I could even mention.
Yeah, you cancelled if you say it.
Yeah. Ends up doing a the term is a sexy pin. Gets the 1, 2, 3. Darwin wins. Crazy match, but in a sick way. Really fun as well. Our main event of the first half, straight out of TNA's stipulations, really. The Monsters Ball match for the TNA for the TNT Tag Team Championship, which featured Act 2 in Benjamin Harland and Jack Knudsen, taking on the Temple of Malum in Isaac North and Rob Drake. Myles, I will let you talk about this while I get a quick drink.
Jesus Christ, what a match this was. Like, this was the match I was looking forward to, like, on both shows. Like, this was my standout match. And my God, this match delivered.
Yeah.
Like, there was so much going on in the ring. You had, from the match start, like, Knudsen just diving off the entrance ramp. You had the staple gun. You had the tacks. You had the barbed wire board. You had
Knudsen with his hands.
Knudsen getting his arms tied, his zip tied up, and still managing to dive through the ropes and just do crazy offense. You had a guitar.
Yep.
Which, that is one of the best spots I have ever seen in a wrestling match. It just, the sound that guitar made, just fantastic. You had baking trays, you had just, it was chaos.
I will say this is in my top 3 matches of the night. I'd probably arguably put it maybe at number 2 or joint 1.
I put it in my match of the show.
But there was so much going on. As you say, we had at one point North and Drake just beating up Haaland, who was on his own at times. We had the barbed wire board, which at times kept falling down, and then they kept like reorganizing it. The tack spot where North was going to put Haaland through it, and then Drake came running over and shoved North out the way and went, "No, I'll do it," and had Haaland eating tacks in his back, effectively.
Not the first time I've seen him do that.
Yeah, it was gnarly. Then North getting put through the table with barbed wire. Him then rising up later on, and the board still stuck to him for a tiny second or two, made him look like an absolute monster. Drake thinking he was a high flyer at one point.
Oh my god, yeah, the moonsault.
With the moonsault. I'll say it was a beautiful moonsault. I'd almost put it in. This could be me going a bit over the top here. I haven't seen a moonsault that pretty looking since I think Angle used to do them. And Angle never used to hit him either. He always used to miss his opponent. So that is a massive compliment to say that is a beautiful moonsault for nothing in that match. Things then ended with, I think it was Haaland grabbing a guitar. Oh, I think it was North and Knudsen. North, I think, rose up from the board with barbed wire and then was choking Knudsen. Haaland came in with the guitar. Quick draw McGraw with the bong to the back of the head or the front of the head, I can't remember. North just standing there and not moving at all. Then they hit Day Tripper, defends the tag team titles, but we still had a couple things left to do before we went into the interval. So Act 2 have left the ring, and the ring is a mess of thumbtacks, guitars, a barbed wire bat. Still got that board with barbed wire there. It's literally everything they've used is in this ring. The crowd then give both North and Drake a standing ovation and applaud him. Drake goes up to North, gives him kind of like a tap, just saying kind of like, "Well fought, we've done well." And then everyone could see where Drake was heading at this point. I'm trying to think what weapon he got.
The barbed wire bat.
Why did I think he got a chair first and then he used the barbed wire bat?
I think,
Or am
yeah.
I just making stuff
No,
up?
that sounds about right from what I remember.
Yeah. Because he hit North, and then North collapsed, and then got a barbed wire bat with barbed wire on it. Tried to put it under the throat of North and just kind of collapsed while he put him in a sleeper hold with the bat as well. Referees and officials all dashed into the ring to try and pull Drake off. Drake then just beat everyone up effectively. And North eventually kind of like came round, and I sense we are going to get North and Drake in a feud now. And having seen like them falling out in a couple shows now, I'm looking forward to what them two can do in a feud, because I think it's going to get bloody, and I think it's going to get brutal. So I am all here for it. We come back from the interval. I did not see a lot of this contest. It was Lucy Sky taking on Nightshade. This was one of the matches I really wanted to see, but I was getting stuff from the merchandise or picking up something, and I had to double check a few things. So I joined this very late in the day. That said, what I did see was Nightshade having far better of this contest, and Lucy just kind of taking the brunt of the offense from Nightshade. I think you're probably going to be able to fill in more of the blanks than I can on this.
Yeah, pretty much what you said. You caught the last bit of the match, but that was pretty much the whole match. Like Nightshade's debut, wasn't it?
I don't know. I think Nightshade has been there before.
Oh, she's not been on a show for ages. Was it a debut?
I'm sure she said she'd returned.
Let's just check dead quick, see if I'm right or wrong.
Because I'm sure I saw a photo of her with the Fusion.
It's a return.
Return, yeah. I was going to say
the last appearance was like
a few years ago,
2022.
Because I think she posted a photo of the lights in Fusion. So I thought, yeah, she must have been in there in the past.
Briefly.
Again, I can't really say too much about this. I joined it very late, unfortunately.
There was a nice spot in the match, which there was a power bomb onto the apron from Nightshade to Lucy. I felt you probably heard that from the merch stand.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I joined it when, I don't know if it was Lucy gone into a post trying to do a spear, or if it was Nightshade.
Yeah. Lucy went for a spear on Nightshade and she hit the ring post.
Yeah. But we'll come to a point I'll make in a minute. But in the end, it saw Lucy Sky getting the win on Nightshade. Then we came to Emerson Jane against Rain Leverkusen. Two of the top. You could say the same for Lucy and Nightshade. So that's probably a disservice to them too. Emerson Jane, who is, I'd say, one of the big stars at TNT.
Yeah, she's one of TNT's main stars.
With Leverkusen, who I don't think this was her debut, was it? I think
this was a debut, yeah.
What's this a debut? This was a good match, but
let down by the crowd, I think.
Yes, this is what I was got. it did seem the same in the previous match with Sky and Nightshade, because we were trying to get chants up in the booth, and for whatever reason, after the interval, the crowd just seemed to fall silent.
Yeah.
Other than like a very select group of people. And then you had a couple of people kind of like we tried to start chants and no one was joining in, and it just felt quite awkward. And then you're trying to give support to those in the ring, and
there was a really bad chant.
Yeah,
Wrestling in the library chant was awful. Never ever do that again.
Yeah, that got brought up, and I do have to say, the ones that did start that, the ones that were up with us did very kind of quickly tell them to nip that in the bud. It wasn't the best chant because it did draw a few angry looks from down below. Even if like the crowd is not very vocal or whatever, kind of chanting that is not the best. I will say towards the back end of the match, when there were chants of Jane and Rain, it did start to kind of see the crowd come alive a bit. But I do think the crowd did not help either of these two matches at all. I know we spoke to a couple of people after the show about it, and they referenced that the matches should have been either earlier or just like the match placements for them two matches did not particularly suit what we were watching. One should have been earlier, and one kind of arguably been like, I mean, you couldn't really move one of the matches. But yeah, it just fell flat most of the second half, which wasn't due to the talents in the ring. It was just the crowd weren't there, or if it was a lot of people that had done the first show had kind of tired. I know a couple of people were watching the Rumble and were paying attention to that, which again isn't the best thing. Because we were kind of doing that upstairs, but we were still paying attention. But the match itself, both women really gave this a good go. Emerson Jane and Rain Leverkusen, two of the best. Leverkusen did not give up. She battled hard on debut, put up a really good fight. Emerson Jane is very plucky. At times she looks like she's down and out, but then she'll just yank a win from out the fire at one point. And that was effectively kind of like how it felt in this contest. Despite the valiant effort of Leverkusen, Emerson Jane wins the penultimate match of the night and saw the main event being the TNT World title, with Tate Mayfair's defending his prestigious TNT Championship against Connor Mills, with Leonardo Darwin in Tate's corner. Myles, I will let you have first stab.
I'm not a big fan of this match. The match itself was good. It's just the ending. It's always the same ending with Tate Mayfair's. It's getting a bit boring. Like, the amount of times Darwin should have been kicked out.
Yeah.
Both referees seeing the crap that he was getting up to. Like, how many times is Darwin going to get away with this crap? Like, constantly just doing stuff to interrupt the match. And, like, just, you had Oscar and you had Greenwood. You had 2 referees. Why is not one of you kicked Darwin out? Like, God. Okay.
There was one point when I think Darwin pulls the referee or Tate out of the ring towards the back end of Greenwood's reign. Reign, that's not the right term. Time in the match. And Greenwood is fuming and kept giving Darwin a mouthful as Darwin kind of like backs off towards like the entrance. And I think because the first half of the match I was upstairs, second half we came downstairs, went down to ringside, and when Greenwood was having a go at Darwin, I think the majority all thought he was going to say, "Right, you out," and it never happened. And then it ended up Myles taking Greenwood's head off, I think.
Yeah,
because I think Tate nearly ran into Greenwood, and Greenwood kind of had his arms up to say, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa," and then Myles actually took out Greenwood, which led to Oscar coming out as the second referee. And then the match was going back and forth, to which I did enjoy this match for like...
It was a solid match, but it's just the way the match pans out. It's just...
I think as the match went on, I think we could all see where it was going to go.
Yeah, it's very predictable.
It was going to be either a DQ or something along the lines of that would happen. Because I don't think anyone really thought that Myles was going to take the title.
No,
he could win the match, but not take the title.
Yeah, a lot of people said Myles was not winning the title.
So we kind of had a few incidents where you thought, "Oh, right, is this how things are going to end?" And it didn't. Then we'd have another incident, and that didn't happen or bring a result. Myles, I think, took about 3 or 4 different like finishes and hits to the head. Myles at this point was bleeding as well, had the crimson mask. So I think they had him in a chokehold or a hold at least, because as I was trying to kind of like look up through the heads, and he thought, is he going to pass out and this is how Tate will win? That was not how it ended. So we carried on. Darwin got involved again, and then again, and then it did get to the point where he just thought, this is getting stupid now. Can we just have like an actual way to end this match? Because it just seemed to get more ludicrous and ridiculous to the point you thought, well, Myles isn't winning, so how are they going to stop him from winning? And then when you had Darwin crawl in and low blow Myles, I think it kind of bookended the first. I think the 2 title matches kind of bookended each other. In the first match with Christian Jacobs that I saw, I didn't particularly like the end of it. I thought it was a bit weak. The end of this match with Myles and Tate, I think, was equally as weak. Just thinking, right, he's low blow, the referee's seeing it. That's it. And then we had, I'm trying to think who came into. Oh, it was Session Moth, wasn't it?
Session Moth and Emerson.
Yeah. So Session Moth came in when Myles was getting beat down, Then Session Moth came in to take on Darwin, who she'd fought earlier in the night. The former partner of Tate Mayfair's, if you go off certain wrestling promotions like Right Cabaret. And then ended up with Emerson Jane coming in to make the save. And Emerson effectively telling Tate that it's going to be the title on April 4th, but it's going to be a death match, which immediately made me very quickly reschedule my plans and want to attend the show, which I am more than likely going to do now. However, the videos they have put out with Tate and Darwin of them trying to get, I think it's 20,000 signatures.
Yeah, 20,000 signatures.
So if they get 20,000 signatures, it will not be a death match. Some of I will say this for TNT, they do make good promo videos, and kind of like build up to shows. So it's. I'll ask you then, because we'll come to that bit of how would you overall thoughts of this show before we kind of move to or touch on the next show.
Overall, it could have been a lot better than what it was. It was a solid show, but like crowd, I think the crowd spoiled the show for me a little bit, and I feel like booking decisions. Yeah, I'll say the main reasons why this show felt a bit flat was booking decisions and the crowd. The wrestling was completely fine. Nothing wrong with the wrestling.
It was just one of those things of, even looking at the matches and talking about them, every match really kind of did deliver on what it was doing. It was just a couple of the endings were a bit not that great. It did help set up a couple of matches for like further on. So in some ways, it's done its job in a very loose way. But yeah, it's just a bit of a letdown at certain times. But again, not every show is going to be kind of like a banger. You will have just odd matches where it's like a solid middle of the road show, and this is probably it with like a couple of matches that probably the Monsters Ball match over delivering, you could say, even though we all knew it was going to be a good match, but it is what it is. I'll ask you on the change of venue. What's your take on? Because I think you've been there before, haven't you?
Yeah, this was the venue my very first TNT show was held at, so I'm really, really glad it's back at this venue because I love the layout of this venue. I love the lighting. I love the stage. Like, I love everything about this venue. Plus, it's a size upgrade to Fusion. It's a lot bigger than Fusion. So it allows for more big spots to be done. Because a spot that I've like vividly remember from Hangar, so it was Shea Monet versus Charles Crowley for the TNT World title. I can't remember which show it was on now. It was on my first TNT show. So Shea Monet like launches Charles Crowley off the balcony, and like Charles Crowley does like a front flip into like the extras. Like that, just it's an upgrade to Fusion.
I'm looking now. Was it TNT versus GCW?
Yeah, it was.
back in 2023.
23, yeah.
Because it was a no disqualification contest with Shay Monet and Charles Crowley. And then it saw Tate Mayfair's winning the title.
Yeah, I was there when Tate Mayfair's.
Ever since.
Because I remember Tate Mayfair's winning the match in like 10 seconds?
12.
12. Yeah.
Probably it could have been 10. But
yeah, I was at that show. That was my third TNT show.
So the only thing I will say about the venue, it's definitely an upgrade. It felt very dark though, from where we were. Whether there's lights where we are, they could have turned on, but it did feel quite dark. But again, if they've moved back, they can always improve things and kind of like get things in order. So it's constructive. That said, that is TNT Extreme Wrestling taken care of. However, there is a show this coming Thursday night at the Ansvik Brewery. And I will let Myles preview this because I believe you are going or you are hoping to go.
I am going to be at this show on Thursday, back at the Azvex. Weird to see Infinite booking Azvex because it was Atomic's old home, but I'm glad that venue's been back in use because I love this venue and it's in the top 3 of my favourite venues to go. So we have Infinite. What's the name of the show again? I have forgot.
New Year's Retribution.
There you go. New Year's Retribution. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have a 6-match card. Starting off, this is how I think the match order will go just based off the match graphics. So we have a debuting Ricky Regan versus Troy Ryan versus Dan Evans in a triple threat. This is going to be
Will we see the wall being brought up?
Oh, yeah. Troy back at the Azvex. Will the wall be used? I think he will. But the thing with Troy and Infinite, he's a heel. So how is he going to use the wall as a heel?
He can still use the wall.
Yeah. But he's going to have to use it in a way it's heelish.
Backdrop him into the wall.
Just don't do your normal move into the wall. Just 0% effort it. I'm looking forward to this match. I'm looking forward to see Troy go against Dan. These 2 big guys. Ricky Regan is the underdog in this match. I've never seen this guy before. Not heard much about him. I've heard a few people say he's quite a talented guy. He travels up and down the country. So we'll see what he's got. See if he brings his A game.
Always good to get new talent.
I think Dan Evans is going to win this match. Because Dan's currently back as a face in Infinite. He's one of the top guys. So I think Dan's going to win this match. And then next match, we have Lally versus Maddie Morgan and Lucy Sky. This will be the first time I get to see Maddie Morgan. Been wanting to see Maddie Morgan for ages because she's been popping off all over social media at the minute. Like, she's currently one of the hottest prospects going. Everybody wants to book her, and she's made her way to Liverpool and found a feet in a Infinite, and she's got a tag team match. It'd be good to see Lucy Sky tagging with Maddie Morgan because I know they had a match at Mega Slam, and I heard that was a very good match. So getting to see them against Lally is going to be fun. See if the chemistry's there between them 2. We know it's there with Lally at the minute. But is it?
Go on, Lally.
the promo package Lolly did in the car was brilliant. Fantastic promo.
How on earth Lana keeps her face straight with some of the... I mean, she doesn't, to be fair. But how on earth I'd love to know how many times they have to record some of these promos.
Oh,
because it must be a fair few times.
I think Lolly are going to take the win on this match.
Yay!
Then we have the Infinite Tag Team title match, in which is going to be an absolute belter. Young Guns versus FTM. There's not much I have to say. Just, we know it's going to be a good match. We've seen them face off before. It's always a tracking match. FTM retain, easy win. Young Guns, I like to call them young bums, because that's what they are. 2 bums.
Come on, Young Guns. Come on, Young Guns.
I can't cheer for the Young Guns against FTM.
I mean, to be fair,
for Ethan against Oberman, but not FTM.
To be fair, when you've got FTM who are as scouse as liver birds against the Young Guns who are Mancunians in Liverpool, and you're kind of a scouser as well, you cannot at all cheer for Young Guns.
I cannot be cheering for Young Guns or I'll get cancelled.
You can't.
FTM will retain. I'm not having Young Guns as tag team champs. Luke's just lost the world title belt after countless days. I do not want Luke Jacobs as a tag team champion in Infinite.
Do it, Infinite. Do it.
Better not be.
I just want to see Myles' face.
I'll be fuming. I'll throw in the towel.
Some of your kind of like your voice or reactions in clips when whoever you've predicted or you've cheered for have lost has always filled me with joy when you get into a real kind of like hissy fit over certain things.
Oh yeah, I full on have a meltdown.
Oh, it's great.
And then next match we have the debuting Tate Mayfairs. Hey,
Tateness is greatness.
Is he going to be face or heel in Infinite? That's the question. It's his debut, so
well
we'll
what's
see.
Joe?
In between, more face. Kessler's more face in Infinite.
I think it'll be a case of, because Tate is known in Liverpool as a heel in TNA. TNA? I keep saying TNA. TNT. I think it's a fair bet.
Yeah, I think Tate's going to come out as a heel.
It's one of those with Tate where even when he plays kind of like the fan favorite, it doesn't fully suit him. He's one of those you prefer being like the bad guy.
Yeah.
And I'm just interested to see with Joe now, having seen the video that's been put out of him in the last week or so.
Oh, the one he did with rebranding Kessler as a wrestler, yeah.
So I'm interested to hear how things change with Kessler now.
It should be a great match. It's a match I've picked out to be match of the night.
I mean, both are great in the ring. Mayfair,
it was the Oberman.
Yes. Unfortunately, he's out due to concussion. So get well, Scotty.
Love you, even though I hate you, but you're a top dude.
So it's a love-hate relationship, man.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be for the lineage title, but things happen. Still be a cracking match.
Unfortunately, it's part of the job.
Yeah, I think Kessler wins, but yet again, Tate could steal one. But I'll go with Kessler. And then we have Lewis Johnson versus RPD. In this, this has been a feud for a while in Infinite now. There's been a lot of back and forth between these two in Infinite. So this is going to be a very intense match between these two.
I mean, I've never seen anything less intense with either man, to be fair. RPD is always intense. Johnson is always intense. It on paper, it definitely looks like one of the more physical encounters of all the matches on here, at least. Or it looks more one of the more brutal contests you'll see that night.
I'm looking forward to this one. I've seen them go at it a bit before, but I'm really, really looking forward to this one. I like both of these guys really. Like, two of my favorites to watch. RPD, never ever seen a bad RPD match. Like, him and Lewis, from what I've seen, they can't put on a bad match. Like, so yeah, this is going to be a great match.
Death now.
Yeah, I've jinxed it now.
Sorry, lads.
Myles is going to be a stinker.
For you now. I've dropped an F-bomb. Got so
Things
far
happen.
and
Things
so
happen. I think RPD picks up the win. I think that match there between Lewis and RPD, I think that will be the match. I think that will be. It's not a number one contenders match for the world title, but I think whoever wins that match has got to face the winner between Trent Seven and Sam Gradwell. And then that's your main event, Trent Seven versus Sam Gradwell. Two former NXT UK superstars in Liverpool on a Thursday night in a main event. What more can you ask for? This is going to be a slobber knocker.
It is one match that jumps out at you. I will say that.
And for the price of the ticket as well, it's an absolute steal. Because I got a VIP ticket. It was originally for the Hooters show. I think I paid £22 for a front row VIP, which people might think, yeah, it's expensive, but looking at the match card and for the price you're paying, where else are you going to get a better value for money on a Thursday night?
It's been said many times, many places. Indie wrestling far outshines that of top promotions for me. Even the top UK promotions, a lot of the indie shows produce far better shows. And when you look at this card as well, a lot of the ones on this card are either top stars now or they are growing to become top stars in the future. So what better to spend your money on than a card like this? Just a shame I have no money or I would have gone to this. Gutted.
Things happen.
I know. I've got too many shows.
Get a loan.
I'm
get a temporary loan.
I would be a loan shark dressed as this. But then I've just forked out on so much money for the Love of Wrestling convention to get some photos. So yeah, just when money enters my bank, it comes straight back out again. But never mind. We have many shows over the year that I will frequently attend because I still have to get 2 hotels for Stourbridge and trains, which have all gone up because I haven't bothered to do it when I had money. Fantastic. But yeah, that all said, that pretty much wraps up this episode for BraddersGraps. I say this every time, but I will still do it because you never know. Anything you would like to plug or promote?
Just get tickets for any local wrestling show near you if you can. Might as well.
That's a good enough reason, then not. Unfortunately for you listeners or watchers, this is not going to be the last time you hear my sick, dulcet tones, because I will be back sometime this week to bring you the action from Salford City Wrestling that happened last Friday night. So at the moment, it is looking like a three-man show, but things could change within that time. But fingers crossed, it will be a three-man booth. Social for me, this is where I always forget my socials. Sod it, you'll read them at the bottom of the page. That's pretty much the end of this episode. Thank you very much for watching, listening, however you get this. We will see you towards the back end of this week. Thank you again to my lovely official, unofficial co-host in Myles, because I will keep running with that joke forevermore. We may have something in the pipeline next week. I will hold on to that till possibly the next show, because I don't know what's happening. But for now, we will catch you later. Support your local indie show. But for now, I'll see you on the next episode.
Ta-da.
Ta-da.